them all. One ring to find them, and in the darkness bind them. Hey, where'd he go? Shit. He disappeared. Ah! Well, I'm gonna have to censor that. So, Lord of the Rings. Doug has done, and the awesome people over at Channel Awesome have done the due diligence of covering the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers, and Return of the King, and also all the Hobbit movies, although he combined all the Hobbit movies into 1 month, or into one video, so, yeah. So, Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, and Return of the King, I watched all three of these multiple times. I watched the original theatrical versions in theaters. I watched the extended cuts when they came out on DVD, and then I went and I bought the extended cuts with the like special edition ones, like with the big bookend looking ones. I remember I had those for a while, and then I went and I got the 4K Blu-rays of them, and I got to be honest, I'm more than happy to rebuy them because they're awesome, dude. Some of the greatest films ever made.
I watched them in theaters, and then I let the extended versions run in the background while I played World of Warcraft.
Ah.
And they ran for the entire day. And I've never actually fully paid attention to all of the extended versions for that reason.
That's fair. Everyone watches them in different ways.
I've tried to rewatch the first one again, but I've never gotten very far back into it. It's still really awesome. It's just usually I'm trying to watch it like late at night and I fall asleep.
Yeah. So
I did that literally like after we played D&D the last time.
I'm kind of sad that Kate's not here.
I watched pretty much up until...
Excuse me?
It was basically like... I can't remember where I stopped watching. But I didn't get very far into it all. They hadn't even left the Shire yet. And I had to go to sleep, so...
Well, I'm just sad that Kate's not here because Kate is a huge Lord of the Rings stan. She's watched all of them multiple times. So I guess, yeah, we're going to be checking out this, and I guess we'll see what it's all about. See what Doug thinks about it. Doug actually did a video a long time ago. It was the 11 dumbest moments in the Lord of the Rings or the Lord of the Rings movies. And he still says, like, these movies are amazing, but there are some moments that are a little dumb. And yeah, no doubt about it. But anyway, let's go ahead and check this out. This is Nostalgia Critics, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. Here we go.
This episode brought to you by Carmen Sandiego. A brand new adventure
Where
from Game
in the world
also brought to you
is
by HelloFresh.
Carmen
Delicious
Sandiego.
pre-measured ingredients and simple chef-made recipes delivered to your doorstep every week. Check us out at Midwest Gaming Classic April 4th through 6th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And check us out at C2E2 April 11th to the 13th in Chicago, Illinois. Hope to see you there. Characters of a C- internet review show. You have been summoned here to answer the question of how to review what has been reviewed a million times over.
I'm Jim.
Bring forth the ring.
Yeah, this is after Tamara left.
Why did I give that to you anyway?
My name is the closest to Frodo.
Oh, yeah.
One does not simply review the Lord of the Rings movies.
Or make that gesture with your hand, because he didn't do that when he delivered the line in the movie.
There are years of people dissecting every little moment, every little detail, every single letter not in the book.
But Rings of Power made some changes, and that won everybody over. That didn't win everybody over, did it?
As much as the Gollum game.
Rings of Power is hot garbage. Oh, okay. Hey, Nick. We watched Invincible earlier, right? How much do you think one season of Invincible costs? Around $55 to $60 million for one season. Do you know how much one season of Rings of Power cost? $1 billion fucking dollars. Yes, Amazon Studios happily gives $1 billion to a train wreck of a TV show that nobody watches versus Invincible, which is one of the best comic book adaptations out there, and they have a budget that is literally a fraction, a small fraction. That's like 1/20th of Rings of Power, and it is infinitely times more entertaining. Fuck you, Amazon. You ruined Lord of the Rings.
He's right. We cannot review it.
You have only one choice.
Wait, why was the camera tracking in on me like that?
We shot like 80 hours of footage. Feel lucky that our lines are even in order.
Agreed. Sometimes we basically edit to the same shot. See?
We have to figure out how to review this in a unique way.
What about satirizing the movie? Nobody's ever done that.
Do you watch anything?
Nope.
How about a clipless review?
Yeah, that'll work out great with Mr. Chronic Fatigue over here.
We can't have just a straightforward review. We need to do something unique.
And I suppose you think you're the one to do it.
I'm out of coffee, and that makes me angry.
In the last shot, I was standing, so why am I standing again?
I hope you're seriously considering
Oh god, this crack is really doing a number on me.
I'll do it. I'll review the movie.
No.
Absolutely not.
That's stupid.
Sit down, you embarrassment.
Ooh, my mother's last words to me.
Look, everyone's done a parody and satire of the Lord of the Rings, including us.
Yeah, maybe just talking straightforward about it makes the most sense.
Yeah, but it's gonna be tricky. I know in many films and franchises people overuse the phrase "there was never anything like it," but really there never was anything like Lord of the Rings. It's been adapted before, but never in a way that left a cultural impact. In fact, for years, fans thought it couldn't be adapted. It was just too big. Well, Peter Jackson had a plan and convinced New Line Cinema to take a big gamble, allow him to shoot 2 films at the same time, condensing the Lord of the Rings trilogy. When one of the producers said, "Wait, aren't there 3 books? Shouldn't we make it 3?" Jackson shrugged and said, "Well, if you gotta." He must have been a good negotiator because not only did he get an unbelievable budget and honestly a fair amount of creative control, but he convinced New Line that the director of this was the perfect choice. I can't imagine planning
The
all 3
hell
of
was
these.
that?
Every director's got that one that they regret. For George Lucas, it is Howard the Duck. For Francis Ford Coppola, it's anything after The Outsiders. For Martin Scorsese, from what he says, Gangs of New York is his least favorite one. And then, of course, for Spielberg, he looks back on Duel, one of his first movies, and is just like, I could have done so much better.
Okay, but none of those answered my question.
I don't know what
What
that
the
was.
fuck was that?
I don't want to know what that was. I'm trying to distract from that so we don't look it up. I am not going to look up what the fuck that was.
Okay.
I have enough like angry furries at me, yelling at me because I have a nuanced opinion about furries, and because I'm not. You need to be accepting of all furries. No, the fuck I don't. Get the fuck out of my comment section. You reprobates, you asshats, you shitbirds. I got nothing for you. If you can't accept the fact that I have a nuanced opinion, kiss my whole entire ass, all 12 acres of it.
Films and having them be as good and popular as they are. It took something that was celebrated mainly in just geek culture and book clubs and turned it into a worldwide phenomenon. Before these movies, the average person didn't know what a hobbit was, even with the musical stylings of Leonard Nimoy.
I did.
With that that said, yes,
Yeah.
this needed to connect with as many people as possible given the budget and that there were going to be 2 more of them. So there are things that most fans acknowledge are needed to win over the average person, but weren't always the best.
Nobody touches a dwarf.
It's going to be difficult to sum up why.
Yeah, Gimli being the comedic relief. Again, I don't approve of it because of Gimli being such an honorable person in the books. Ugh. I understand why those changes were made.
These incredibly long films made such a huge impact, but we have a whole month dedicated to it, so we're going to give it a try. And because there's so much movie to discuss, the best way to go about it is to just discuss it.
Wait, then why did we do a parody sketch in the opening?
Well, this isn't a sketch. This is just us talking.
No, we're clearly all characters.
I'm not a character.
And let him just
The
keep
first
arguing.
and shortest film of the bunch. At 3 hours, let's take a look at Fellowship of the Ring. The film opens in a magical land called Middle-earth, where we get the backstory about the forging of powerful rings, one of them made by an evil villain named Sauron.
The Dark Lord Sauron forged in secret a master ring.
And yeah, I know I've said it before and I'll say it again, I don't like Sauron's design. I like you never see his face or hear him talk, and being covered in metal is on brand for these villains. But I'm sorry, this is supposed to be the great deceiver, the ultimate evil, and he looks...
Damn, it's already 2.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
We've wasted too long on things, apparently.
looks like a Marvel villain. Not a good one either, he's like that mini-boss in Thor. Even his lizard eye going, just seems laughably over the top. Say what you want about dorky helmet guy in the Bakshi version, but he was literally a shadow, and I think he's scarier as just a shadow. Simply being talked about and using your imagination. I know I'm a minority on that, I just don't find this guy scary. Luckily though, everything else about this intro is pretty badass. Showing an alliance of men and elves fighting creatures called orcs in Sauron's homeland, Mordor. Thank you for coming towards us from that angle, it looked really cool.
Yeah.
King Isildur destroys Sauron by chopping off the ring, customized to fit any size, and it slips from person to person over the years.
But something happened then the ring did not intend.
It fell in cow shit. No, it's picked up by a hobbit named Bilbo, played by Ian Holm, who carries it back home to the Shire,
the
and
late
years
Ian
later his
Holm.
nephew Frodo, played by Elijah Wood, is joining the others celebrating Bilbo's birthday with his wizard friend Gandalf, played by Ian McKellen. That mention, by the way, might be the first movie to fulfill every Internet Geek's fan casting.
A wizard is never late.
Yes.
He arrives precisely when he means to.
Are they seeing who can hold a fart the longest? What are we doing? Actually, that would explain their awkward laugh immediately after.
No, it's okay. That's actually kind of funny, but no, the awkward laugh. The laugh is literally they know each other, and it's been a long time since they've seen each other, and they're doing a little inside joke. It's like, "You're late, Gandalf. A wizard is never late." It's an inside joke.
We're classy here.
Fair enough.
Gandalf tours the Shire filled with small people and small pigs and small sheep and small dogs. Yeah, how does this work? And I know, again, I've mentioned this before, but I'm really not the biggest fan of this film's editing. I don't blame the director. I don't even really blame the editor. Like I said, this was a beast of a production, and they have footage up the wazoo to get across very quickly in a way everybody can comprehend and be interested in. That's a lot to ask of anyone, and mistakes are going to be made. But sometimes
Yeah.
it has-
Never noticed that.
No, I've noticed it, and there's certain things with the perspective. It's because of like the fact that they shot a lot at altered perspectives, because they have to do establishing shots on some people's faces to like show who's in the scene, and then they cut what seems to be almost the exact same shot, but it's at the trick perspective to make them look like, you know, the Hobbit, like the Hobbits and like Gandalf are in the same scene, when the Hobbits are like way back here and Gandalf is up here. So it's, once again, it's just all about perspective. That's why they do some of them, but the other ones that are done like in the middle and during the climax of the film, Yeah, those are a little bit. One of the only downsides to this.
As cuts
One
to
of the
result in
only.
moments that just don't feel right.
Half the Shire's been invited. He's up to something. All right, then, keep your secrets.
That is just not a natural back and forth. A lot of fans introduce newcomers to the extended version, and I don't think that's wise either. Yeah, it's neat, I'm glad it exists, but a lot of it isn't needed, and I think it drag out too long for first-timers.
Which is why it's always recommended to watch it after seeing the originals.
That's what you just
Except
said.
for this one. And even then, not all the way, like up to where they get to Rivendell. Because you're setting up the main characters, and that is going to take a little more time.
He's up to something. All right, then, keep your secrets.
I like building up Bilbo's appearance, but the extended version sets up these people a lot better.
I was wondering about that because when I was watching it, I wasn't watching the extended edition.
Yeah.
The other night, and whenever he said the "all right, keep your secrets" thing, I was like, I could have sworn like they always meme it with him like smiling, you know?
Yeah.
And
it's the extended
because
edition.
It's only from the extended edition that you see him smile like that.
Half the Shire's been invited, and the rest of them are turning up anyway.
See? Doesn't that feel more like how people talk?
Yes.
Even Sam, the guy the movie is literally gonna end on, gets just one moment of him looking at a woman, and then they're like, you're a main character now, off you go. And yet, the extended version doesn't add a ton, but it's just enough to make us connect with them a bit more. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
We don't want any more visitors, well-wishers, or distant relations.
And what about preachers of Jesus?
I want to see mountains again. Mountains, Gandalf.
Like right here, that's a trick perspective. Like he is way further back than what you think he is. And this set design is so amazing because this right here is completely disconnected from this. It's actually like way further forward and this is way back here. Again, I cannot express enough the
That's
true
absolute genius.
It is. It's unbelievable.
Because like when you look at it right now, your brain is totally tricked into thinking that's connected together.
Oh yeah, and it's not until you pause it, and you actually are able to dissect and see the lines in the set building
that you can actually tell how they did it.
Yeah.
It still doesn't make your brain unsee it though.
Oh no.
So
no, it doesn't.
It's
And
awesome.
then, once again, I give full props to Peter Jackson and his entire set design team. They did immaculate work with this film.
I think most people know there's a lot of practical effects and forced perspective to make the height differences for the hobbits look more convincing, and they're really well done.
Yes.
I always thought it was a little weird they spent millions and millions on this and didn't just hire little people. Oh, except for the far-off shots, which kind of makes me question it even more. They're good enough for the far-off shots, but not the close-ups. I don't know, maybe they want actors who are somewhat well-known, and yeah, these weren't huge stars, but they were known. And there weren't really that many little people stars back then, so it feels a little odd, but it doesn't take away from the great performances all these people give.
100
Yeah.
years old. You haven't aged.
Have you been drinking Mario Lopez blood? They throw a big party complete
God.
with Mary Poppins fireworks.
And the dragon.
And speaking of Mary, two hobbits named Mary and Pippin, played by Dominic Monaghan and Billy Boyd, are causing trouble.
Let's get another one.
We like to thank
Yeah.
director Blake Edwards for shooting that scene.
Also, funny enough, in terms of the hobbits, Merry, Pippin, Sam, and Frodo. Frodo is supposed to be the oldest, and Pippin is supposed to be the youngest. But Billy Boyd, who plays Pippin, is the oldest by far, and Elijah Wood was the youngest by far. That's actually one of the funny, like, my English teacher pointed that out to me, and I was like, that's so odd, because it's just like you'd expect, but it's just because of, like, how they play their characters. Frodo's, like, more mature and, like, more forward action, and of course these two are troublemakers, so it figures in.
My dear Bagginses and Buffins, Rubs, Jumps, Woodenblowers.
Hey, watch the slurs.
Goodbye.
Bilbo surprises him by putting on the ring and disappearing, planning to leave the ring with Frodo, yet he finds it has a strange hold on him.
You want it for yourself!
Wilbur Baggins! Do not take me for some conjurer of cheap tricks.
As I conjure up this cheap trick. I remember when Ian McKellen was nominated for an Oscar, this was the clip they chose because they clearly had no idea what else to choose. McKellen is perfect, but a Best Actor nod is a little weird. I mean, Sean Bean's performance is right there.
Keep it secret. Keep it secret.
Gandalf thinks there's more to this ring than he first thought, so he ventures out to do some research, leading to one of the cooler shots in the movie. We see a giant tower in Mordor. Holy smokes, that thing is huge, but then in the same shot, it's shown that's just part of another tower that's literally so big you can't see the top of it. That's a clever reveal.
Yeah, because I do it.
The word
Oh my gosh. Also, right there, when I first saw this, I thought that Smeagol, or like, I thought that Gollum was going to be practical. And they actually did build a full practical suit for Gollum, for like an actor to wear. But then the full body replacement technology, which was just coming into fashion, the guy who did the practical effects learned the program and actually did like a full body replacement on Andy Serkis in the second and third films. And it's unbelievable, like seeing right here, because this is actually part of the outfit that he was going to wear. And you can see like the practical effects of his hand, like those are actual like real hands that are moving in there.
The words Shire and Baggins are shouted as Gandalf figures out the One Ring is in fact the Ring of Sauron.
Is it secret? Is it safe?
Great callback to that awkward shot you got before. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the weird close-ups in this.
Yeah, it was a motif.
That was, I got to the tower shot, basically, and then that's as far as I watched the last time I tried to watch it.
Okay.
60 years, the ring lay quiet in Bilbo's keeping.
Gandalf reveals this is the One Ring to rule them all, and in the wrong hands, Sauron could return.
His life force is bound to the ring, and the ring survived.
Sad to say, this is another moment where the pacing's a little off. In the book, Gandalf disappears for 17 years and very calmly tells Frodo what's going on, allowing more time so we can get to know him as characters. However, in the book, the party also goes on for like a bajillion pages, so I get the idea of wanting to get the story going and some real urgency here. The issue is, the tone really goes back and forth. Ooh, gotta hide, shit's getting real. You know, some tea sounds nice, there's no rush. Wait, they heard Shire Baggins. I'm Shire Baggins, we gotta move, we gotta go! Oh, Frodo, your first day at school. Let's take a second to really admire this moment. What was that? Get down! It's just a little too back and forth for me.
Confounded old Samwise Gamgee!
Like I mentioned before, Sam was eavesdropping, so Gandalf says he should go with Frodo on his journey. He says he'll meet with him at an inn after he consults with the head of his order, Saruman, played by Christopher Lee. And you'll be surprised to discover a guy with this appearance who lives in this place is amazingly a bad guy.
Against the power of Mordor, there can be no victory. You must join with Sauron.
But didn't you say on Charlie Rose I'm never a Sauron guy? I think it's okay. The last guy who was in my spot turned out great.
Oh.
They have themselves a wizard's duel.
I win! I win!
Saruman the Stinky.
Gandalf the Grungy. I can't remember.
Saruman the Stinky was the final blow. He's like, no!
But I challenge thee to a wizard duel. I cast tungsten ballsack. Whoop. Boing. I cast instant Brazilian wax. Wait, what?
I cast inexplicable leg cramp.
Oh, you bastard!
He's like, oh, rub it.
I cast manual breathing.
Fuck you! I'm not going to announce my spells anymore. You'll find out what they are when they obliterate the shit out of you.
I cast mint butt crack. Oh no! I love Punky Noodles so much. All right. Anyway, sorry.
Which is pretty cool, even if this scene is a little silly.
I gave you the chance of aiding me.
No, come on. Right there, you need to play like some breakdancing music. It's like, and now Gandalf is showing off his sweet dance moves.
And we cut back to Sam and Frodo, who bump into Merry and Pippin.
A shortcut. A shortcut to what? Mushrooms.
I love that stuff. It makes me feel like I'm on a suburban couch just looking at the ceiling. What a trip. The 9 rings made from men have been corrupted by Sauron, though, and are now the Black Riders, who are about as perfectly intimidating as you can get. They're unstoppable, magically powerful killing machines, except when it comes to water. Come on, guys, break the stereotype Black Riders don't swim.
What business brings you to Bree?
We wish to stay at the inn. Our business is our own.
After passing by the director's cameo,
What's up, Doc? You with a sideshow around here?
they expect
Not the only one of this trilogy.
to meet up with Gandalf, but he's not been seen for months. They're approached by a ranger named Strider, played by Viggo Mortensen, whose introduction, again, is slightly the victim of odd editing.
Are you frightened? Yes. Not nearly frightened enough.
He says the hobbits should be more scared as something terrible is hunting them. Okay, good night. Now, don't get me wrong, making it look like the Black Riders killed them is a good fake out. Even if it does come after one of the funniest shots in the movie. Like every 20 minutes, it randomly becomes Looney Tunes. But they're shooting it like, ooh, we're supposed to think Strider let them die. We've only known this guy for literally a minute. Why am I supposed to get that reaction?
Where are you taking us?
Into the wild.
Nicking any camera when I find them.
Gentlemen, we do not stop till nightfall.
Like many of the characters, though, he does balance out the more the movie goes on. Even if he does literally abandon them at their most vulnerable moments.
Nice crispy bacon.
Put it out, you fools! Put it out!
Uh-oh, I only made enough for the 4 of us. Frodo puts on the ring, but is stabbed by one of the riders, just as Strider tries to save him.
Ow, my face! My doctor said I'm not supposed to get fire on it!
Frodo is infected by the blade he was stabbed with, but thankfully an elf named Arwen, played by Liv Tyler, is there to help.
Sorry, let me turn down my elvish backlighting we all have.
We must get him to my father.
So I don't mind Arwen being given a bigger role here as, A, it is a bit of a sausage fest. I mean, there's more wood here than End Furnish Company. And B, for a character who does have an interesting dilemma in the later films, it just wouldn't have been as engaging if she just greeted them when they got to Rivendell. My only problem is Frodo, the main character, is completely useless. He either needed to step up to the Black Riders at the ruins, the river, or both. And then Strider and or Arwen saves him. All he does here is constantly lose to gravity. He really needed something to do during at least one of these scenes to get us more invested.
Ow.
Jesus Christ, man.
Ooh, a battle scar from a tree. She's got badass war wounds.
If you want him, come and claim him.
Okay. Hey, Frank, this water stuff ain't so bad.
Yeah, why were we so afraid of it? Look, there's even horses.
Water sucks.
Use that, Frank. Did you know Carmen Sandiego is going to be 40 years old? She looks almost as good as when I turned 40. Well, to celebrate being around for 40 years, Gameloft has a new Carmen Sandiego game. This time you get to play as Carmen herself. You use all sorts of cool gadgets, find clues, and locate a jet thief. The graphics are stylized and pretty cool to look at. And there's a legitimate mystery behind who's pulling the strings behind this caper. But let's say you grew up with the original games like I did. They have something for you too. You can play the Acme Files, a loving send-up in 2D pixel art that captures the original gameplay that goes back 4 decades.
Wow.
The main game, though, is pretty enjoyable, with a good variety of gameplay like tracking, gliding, stealth mode, puzzle solving. You even get to swing from building to building. They also hide a bunch of little Easter eggs from the original games. It's pretty cool revisiting these and remembering back to when I was younger and just wanting to catch the crook and glance past all the educational stuff. And now I find myself really getting into the educational stuff, sometimes even more than capturing the crook. God, I really am over 40. But so is Carmen Sandiego, and you can celebrate that by checking this game out. It's a ton of fun, very imaginative, and like I said, you can learn a lot of cool information. So check out this deal, I'm hilarious. Carmen Sandiego is waiting for you on PC, consoles, and Netflix games, including iOS and Android. Whether you want to feel younger, older, or a little bit of both, this is a great game to check out. Click on the link below and see all the additions of the game and DLC content you can enjoy today. Hey, what's for dinner tonight? A toilet?
It's very odd
it's no
that
good.
like,
I have
a
a...
full game gets a sponsorship slot like that.
Well, I mean,
there's a sponsorship slot like that.
I mean, they're trying to promote the hell out of it, and in all honesty, I guarantee you, they saw Doug's numbers and were just like, yeah, this guy's pretty
Yesterday,
good.
I'm gonna have HelloFresh. HelloFresh is not a toilet.
HelloFresh.
And that's a good thing. It's farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Can your toilet do that? Mine can, but that's not important. I should question how and why it does that. But I'm tired of figuring out what's for dinner night after night, especially on those busy weekdays. Get dinner done the easy way thanks to HelloFresh. It's easy to find time to eat well with 50 wholesome, hassle-free meals to choose from each week, delivered to your door. As someone who's not a good cook, I mean, look at me, I eat toilets. I can say HelloFresh does a great job allowing me to cook meals fast and delicious. Deliciously delicious. It helps me eat quicker and better. And guess what, you complete stranger I have no connection with? HelloFresh has a special offer. Get up to 10 free meals and a free high-protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/HelloFresh.
It is literally a mobile game that they've put up on Steam for nearly $40 with the DLC. What a shame. If you want to play it on an iPhone, they have it on the Apple Arcade.
Well,
Fresh Podcast. 1 item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/HelloFreshPodcast. HelloFresh, America's
total
#1
rip off.
meal.
This is a port of
What do
the
you have to
free
say
to
about
Netflix
that?
users
Toilet
game,
only
even
got the
free in the Google Play Store.
Go today.
That's absurd.
That's sad.
Frodo wakes up in Rivendell all healed up and with Gandalf as well, who explains how Ere Deus Ex Machina saved him from Saruman.
There is only one Lord of the Ring.
But you wouldn't know that because you can't see him.
Frodo!
Oh.
Sam, bless you, you're awake!
Funny note, there was pushback to have Sam grab Frodo's hand because some were concerned it might look a little gay. Yeah, that was the scene they thought might give people that impression.
Welcome to Rivendell.
We're introduced to King Elrond, played by Hugo Weaving, who assembles several Middle-Earth's most Middle-Earthiest looking people to decide what is to be done with the One Ring. Boromir, played by Sean Bean, says it should be used to restore order. Gimli, played by John Rhys-Davies, tries to destroy it without running it by anyone. And Legolas, played by Orlando Bloom, is beautiful.
What would a ranger know of this matter? He is Aragorn. You owe him your allegiance.
Like how he owes me my scrunchie. While everyone bickers, Frodo seems tortured yet drawn to the ring, so he says he'll be the one to take it to the only place it can be destroyed, Mount Doom. But nobody knew a guy who lived in a place called Mount Doom was bad. Its name is Doom!
You have my sword.
Hey. That's Doctor.
You have my bow.
And my axe.
Here's my sword. Here's my bow.
Here's my axe. Bye.
Mr. Frodo's not going anywhere without me.
Sam, Merry, and Pippin say they're coming too, and I smell a title drop.
9 companions. You shall be the Fellowship of the Ring.
I love the look he gives, like, yeah, I'm proud of that. Yeah, all the movies do this.
There is only one Lord of the Ring.
You shall be the Fellowship of the Ring.
The union of the two towers.
Authority is not given to you to deny the return of the king.
Which is ironic because Tolkien didn't like splitting it up into 3 books or the titles they were given. Hell, he said Return of the King basically gave away the ending. Where you on that one, spoiler culture?
It's so light, yeah. Made by the elves, you know.
While talking with Bilbo, who now lives in Rivendell, he finds he's once again drawn to his old friend.
Oh, yeah.
Hold it again, one last time.
So yes,
That scared the
notice there
crap out of me in the theater.
Yeah, it did a lot of people. Did me too, if I'm being honest.
Moments in this trilogy that are a little too over the top. The book keeps it vague, like this could be how Frodo sees him looking similar to Gollum, but the movie does take some scenes a little too literally. I will say though, this is a 3-hour movie, and scenes like this and Galadriel going raw from Stargate do wake the audience up a bit. So even though it's a little much, I do understand why it's there. They do their Avengers trailer shot and make their way to Moria.
Hey, they originated that. Avengers stole it.
When Saruman uses his magic to block their path, they make their way through the mines of Moria, where Gimli's cousin resides.
Speak, friend, and enter.
What do you suppose that?
If you are a friend, you speak the password and the doors will open.
Walt sent me. QWERTY? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Password. Password 1. Password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Frodo finally does something and figures out you literally speak the word friend in Elvish to open the door. However, not only do they find everyone inside is dead, but a monster is stopping them from going the other way.
Ah, yes.
I have but one choice.
This Adobe lighting effect. Don't worry, it'll be the last time anyone botches the lighting in these movies.
There's something down there.
It's Gollum.
But it looks like Gollum, a creature whose life was destroyed by the ring, is following them.
It's a pity Bilbo didn't kill him when he had the chance.
It was pity that stayed Bilbo's hand.
Pity was the name of one of the dwarves who tripped and injured Bilbo's killing hand. As they venture forth, they discover Gimli's cousin is dead, and yeah, I know I'm repeating myself again and again, but I like the original reaction more of just Gimli tilting his hat over his eyes and walking away. This kind of feels like that cry from the show Intervention.
No.
His chance for revenge comes, though, when the goblins who killed his cousin start rushing in.
They have a cave troll. We have a team.
The team battle strikes
You are
Kidney
one
Stone.
ugly
How Merry
motherfucker.
and Pippin not see him there? But they have to battle an even bigger foe, a fiery beast called the Balrog.
Dark fire will not avail you. Flame of Udun!
The Balrog looks good, but I will say, I wish they mixed CG with something that was actually there, like a puppet or stop motion or something. He looks just a little too much like a World of Warcraft boss.
So what's wrong with that?
Shall not pass!
Thanks, every teacher in high school. Gandalf defeats the Balrog, but the Balrog pulls him down with it. They stop the hobbits from helping him due to the literal nothing shooting at them right now. And Gandalf falls to his death.
Fly, you fools!
Oh no!
This tears the team apart, but they do manage to make their way to Lothlorien, where Galadriel, played by Cate Blanchett, is waiting. Our heroes grieve for their fallen hero, if that's what you can call this weird line delivery.
What do they say about him? I have not the heart to tell you. For me, the grief is still too near.
You said that like your Amazon package is coming a day late. While Frodo looks into the fountain that shows things that could come to be.
The Fellowship is breaking. He will try to take the ring. You know of whom I speak.
You need to kill Pippin. The next day they're on their way where they encounter the most epic toll stop ever constructed.
Long have I desired to look upon the kings of old. My kin.
Let's follow it up with this really dated frame rate effect that looked terrible back then. It looks even worse now.
Yeah. 15 FPS.
The ironic thing is, for all my complaining there's too much cut out of this, you could completely cut that moment and not miss a thing. Sometimes this movie does get a little drunk on its self-importance. Other times, though, they represent it perfect. I'm really not kidding when I say I'm shocked Ian McKellen got an Oscar nod, but not Sean Bean. He so easily could have been one note, but he really brings out a tortured humanity to this character that is corrupted by the power of the ring, but for a very noble cause to save his people.
To let that fear drive us to destroy what hope we have. I ask only for the strength to defend my people.
For all the bitching the character does, they know how to balance it out with real human moments too. He really does feel like a completely fleshed out character.
Give them a moment, for pity's sake!
Our paths will lead us there, and the Tower Guard shall take up the call. The Lords of Gondor have returned.
The look on his face when he realizes he single-handedly destroyed the Fellowship by trying to take the ring is so heartbreaking.
Frodo. What have I done?
And once again, it's Sean Bean. He's a great actor. I mean, God, he's a great actor. It's just, I hate the fact that his acting chops are overshadowed by the Sean Bean dies and everything. Yeah, I know. It's a meme. It's old, tale as old as time. But yeah, what are you going to do?
He made it through Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I know.
He wasn't the main character and wasn't actually caught in Silent Hill.
Damn, you're right.
He was just the main character's husband on the outside looking for her.
Yeah.
This was really more of a Faramir move. Aragorn as well sees he's tempted by the ring and fears, because of his family blood, that he'll eventually take it too. So he lets Frodo go alone just as the Orcai, or Orc Plus if you will, attack.
Urukai.
He's leaving.
Yeah.
Despite the book ending a little earlier, they do a good job wrapping this all up as the climax. Everybody's given a good moment to go out on, as well as a decent to be continued, with once again Boromir being the most powerful. I will give a battle that'll be worth a song, even if it's called the feisty little pincushion. Aragorn fights off Boromir's killer and says he'll do his best to not let their kingdom fall. And goddamn, not only is this performance great, but it's one of the few times where the makeup really gives the impression this guy is taking his last breath.
I swear to you, I will not let our people fail. Our people.
Oh my god, Aragorn killed Boromir. Sam is only one to find.
Also, I'm sad Doug didn't mention there was actually an epic scene in the fight with the Urukai that Aragorn had, where the guy playing the Urukai was supposed to throw a knife, and it was supposed to like go in front or go like away from Aragorn, and he was supposed to make it look like he dodged it. Instead, he let go of it too early, and it actually went right for Viggo Mortensen's head. And Viggo, with the butt of his sword, like ping, knocked it out of the air. And it's one of the most epic mistakes that somehow made it even better.
Yeah,
I love that.
Frodo and swears to stand by him, literally risking death in doing so.
I made a promise, Mr. Frodo. Don't you leave him, Samwise Gamgee.
I also don't think it's an accident Sam quotes the promise Gandalf had him make just as Frodo was thinking of his own words of wisdom from him. It shows how dedicated they are not only to each other, but also to his memory. Their bond is so strong that Aragorn decides to let them go and take what's left of the Fellowship to save Merry and Pippin.
The Fellowship.
Also, did he kick the helmet in this movie, or was that
second one?
Second one.
Is in Two Towers when they try and find the band of orcs that took Merry and Pippin.
So that was another coincidence because he broke his foot when he kicked the helmet.
And it was the best
scream,
take.
Yeah, that scream was a legitimate scream of pain.
Yeah, and then of course also in this film, there was a scene, the scene where Sam like runs out to grab the boat to try and come after Frodo. He actually walked out there, and a gigantic piece of glass just went up through his foot.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Oh yeah,
damn.
Like he got med flighted out, got everything taken care of, and he had given a couple days rest. Then they brought him back to film the scene again, and I think they made a joke to be like, okay, we made sure not to like break our beer bottles down by the creek anymore.
Not if we hold true to each other.
Don't touch me.
Let us hunt some orc.
It ends with Sam and Frodo looking over the perilous journey that lies ahead of them.
I'm glad you're with me.
You know, Mr. Frodo, what do you say we chuck it in that puddle and tell everyone we traveled all the way? You read my mind, Sam. And that was the Fellowship of the Ring. I have issues, like any Tolkien fan is going to, but it's still a pretty damn impressive accomplishment. The problems I have, I do excuse a little more because you could argue it's a proof of concept film. For something this grand and expensive and building up 2 more installments, you needed something that could reach the majority of people, yet still stay true to what the source material was. And I think this film not only does that, but it does succeed it. I didn't even have a chance to talk about the stellar cinematography, the combination of practical and CG effects, and the unbelievable music. Every shot is impressive, the scale models look incredible, and just about everything has a musical theme that sounds like something right out of an epic opera. For the little nitpicks I have, it makes up for it in the grand presentation, and, as you probably know, the amazing installments to follow.
Dude, like, as a kid, like, seeing this, however old I was when this came out, I don't even remember why I went to see this. I don't remember who I went to see it with for sure either. Because surely, like, I don't know if I saw a preview in a different movie and I was like, that looks really cool, I need to go see that. Or if it was like somebody who was like, yeah, we gotta go see this. And I was like, I don't know what that is, you know? This was my first, like, huge exposure to, like, this kind of, like...
high fantasy?
Yeah, high but slightly dark fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
And that opened up an entire like world for me, basically, that I never really thought about before. Because when I was that young of a kid, I never saw anything like the Dark Crystal or really any kind of fantasy stuff like this before. I think the closest thing I ever saw to this was probably Fantasia.
Oh.
And that was still not really anywhere close to what this is, you know?
Oh, no.
It's like this was my first exposure to dwarves and hobbits and everything like that. Orcs.
Yeah.
Like, and Urukai and all of those things. Like, so when I saw this movie, like, this was, like, just being a kid and seeing something like this, it was an adventure for sure.
Oh, yeah,
like
dude.
A crazy time to be alive, basically.
You ain't kidding. And I'll say this about, I remember who I went. I went to the theater. I went to the one in Coburn with my friends Andrew and Cody. And we went in, I remembered, dude, I remember after the film, we just sat out in the parking lot while waiting for my mom for like 20 minutes and just like did nothing but talk about this. And just like how epic it was, how awesome it was. And basically just, me and Andrew were both just like, man, we should read the books. And then Cody was just like, they made books about these? Oh God. He's a meth head now, but oh well. Anyway, but yeah. That was when I went and watched it. I know what you're saying. Like, this was like a big rush of it for me because I'd never seen no one had ever seen anything like this. This is the first true like big fantasy thing ever brought to film, and as far as I'm concerned, it's the best, and it's really the only one that's considered like truly exceptional. Because there's been other fantasy things that have come out afterwards, and they have hints of just amazingness to them, but they always fall short because of politics or because of, like, internal squabbling of politics. You know, Witcher.
To be perfectly honest, I think the closest thing to this I've seen since, and it's still not anywhere near the same because it's not like an epic trilogy, but the closest thing I've seen to fantasy being done this amazingly since this is probably Dungeons and Dragons.
Honor Among Thieves?
Yeah.
I would say so. That movie's goated. I don't care what anyone says. In terms of like bringing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign to life, it succeeds on so many levels. Because you can literally see where it's like, oh, you had a good roll here. Oh, they had a bad roll there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
especially the bard failures. What is happening?
Well, at least the distraction worked for the most part.
Yeah. It was just amazing.
Oh, I loved it. Oh, God. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish this up.
For Lord of the Rings month is just beginning, and the best is yet to come.
Absolutely.
I'm the nostalgia critic, and let's see if they're done bickering out there.
Nope.
All right, everybody, stop your bickering.
They go to watch the Lord of the
Dear
Rings.
Nostalgia Critic, we got bored and did something else. It's time to realize we have a life outside of you.
You literally don't. You were made for the show.
I know you think we literally don't, as we were made for the show, but that's why we're gonna be in a few Cinema Snob episodes.
Cinema Snob! I lost interest.
Okay. So, yeah, that was Doug's take on Lord of the Rings, and I will say this for his take on Fellowship of the Ring. I get it. I still think this to me is not my favorite Lord of the Rings movie. My favorite, I would still say, is
Two Towers.
I'd still say probably Two Towers as well, because Helm's Deep
Like everyone
alone,
pretty much universally agrees that the Two Towers is the best of the trilogy.
it basically got Empire Strikes Back again. You know, because like Empire Strikes Back is considered the best Star Wars movie.
It is just, I mean, it's partially because Helm's Deep just might be one of the most epic things ever put on film and ever will be put on
No
film.
doubt about it. Dude.
Like,
It's still, I still get chills thinking about the rain-soaked like battlefield, and the orcs just like starting to like pound their pipes on the ground, like whoa.
Yeah, the amount of times like me and my friends like talked about Helm's Deep after that. Like I don't think I've ever brought up a moment from a movie so many times in like the year following seeing that movie. Like there was a freaking Helm's Deep map that we downloaded for Star Wars. It was either Jedi Academy or the one right before it. But I remember we were in Helm's Deep on the multiplayer, just like role playing around in Helm's Deep and stuff, and exploring that map. That was so awesome. Like,
for me,
all kinds of crazy stuff.
For me, I remember the level in the Two Towers video game.
I never actually played that.
Oh my god, it is really good. And there's actually a part of the game like you have to defend the gate from getting destroyed, and it's basically you and Gimli guarding it, and then something happens, and it's either Aragorn or Legolas, depending on who you choose. They like get caught by themselves, and you have to go rescue them. And whenever you leave, the Orcs push like at the gate, and then the rush back there to get back to the gate to help Gimli. Oh my god, what like one of the most epic moments for me, like playing video games ever. Because I failed like 2 times in a row, and I'm like, I'm not gonna fail this time. Not gonna fail this time. I got this shit. I got this shit.
You know what? Now that I think about it, you know what I think the Lord of the Rings did though?
What's that?
They set a bar for adaptations so high that that's probably why everybody hates every adaptation of everything that ever comes out.
Well, that plus the fact that the people making it don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah,
but there's been some adaptations of things that I was like, I thought that was pretty good actually, and everybody's like, that fucking blew, as not nearly as good as the book, blah blah blah, stuff like that, you know.
Well, they always say that, dude.
Yeah.
And there were people saying that about these.
There were, yeah.
And to which to those people I say, yeah, because the theater of the mind is easier to work with than the actual theater on the silver screen.
Yeah, when I heard people say that about this, I hadn't read the books. I still actually haven't read the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. I've only ever read The Hobbit.
Okay.
But yeah, like I was just like, dude, I don't care if it's not as good as the books because it was still really, really good.
Yes.
Apparently I need to read the books at some point because apparently they're 10 out of 10 books. But
oh, they are. Some of the greatest fantasy ever.
There was still nothing else I've ever seen like this.
Oh, no.
May not ever see anything else like this.
Yeah.
It's like the best thing that we're ever going to get, I feel like, to the Lord of the Rings trilogy is video games. Like Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 goes
Skyrim
hard.
Before that.
Yeah.
Like even Skyrim, like everybody's gotten really critical of Skyrim since it released, even though everybody and their brother freaking loved it when it first came out.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean, you have to admit, like, you were playing Skyrim when it released in 2011.
Yeah.
Even if you hate it now, you fucking played the shit out of that when it came out. Don't lie. Everybody did.
100%.
I know, because everybody wouldn't shut up about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But, which I was kind of fine with at the time because I was part of everybody. So
that's fair enough. Well, all right. This was Doug Walker, a.k.a. the Nostalgia Critic's take on The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Let us know what y'all thought. Let us know if you agree with Doug, if you think Doug is a little too critical. Feel free, and I guess, till next time, everybody, signing off, I am Nate.
I'm Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care of yourselves. Peace.